Hello and welcome back to the G Automotive YouTube channel. It's kind of late here at G Automotive, but I have to have this diagnostic done because I'm kind of in a time crunch. The patient today is a 2006 Buick Lucerne. The complaint is a misfire, especially when the vehicle is warmed up and stopped at a light or a stop sign or something like that. The customer complains of a misfire. I did test drive it. The vehicle is warmed up. Pre-removed a couple of plastics and covers just to get ahead of the game here a little bit. I did confirm the complaint. That's very important when doing any troubleshooting, is confirming the complaint. So I already hooked up my scan tool to the vehicle. There is a check engine light. The check engine light is on. So the first thing we're going to do is hook up our scan tool. And what I'm using here is the MaxiSys MS906BT. This is the Bluetooth version. There is another more simple. So we're going to auto detect the VIN. Okay. Yes. Now, based on we're gonna go to a particular control unit, which is the engine controls, trouble codes, read codes. Based on the symptoms that I experience, it's an intermittent misfire. It doesn't do it constantly. Just because of that, I'm kind of leaning towards an ignition related misfire. It's not a dead miss, it's an intermittent. I can feel it coming and going. Okay, so we got a secondary air injection system, incorrect airflow, system shutoff valve stuck open. Okay, here's our misfire code here. Not a cylinder specific code, which means now we have to figure out which cylinder is giving us the problem. Okay, so all this is secondary air injection code. The only one that I'm gonna worry about for right now is this misfire code. Okay, so I'm going to exit. Okay, now the beautiful thing about this scan tool is that it gives me a misfire graphic here. Okay, and there we see all the cylinders, and as we start to experience a misfire, it should be detected in one of these little blocks. This is a V8, so there's 8 cylinders. Oh, there it goes right there. Cylinder number 8. Oh, there it goes again. Okay, so far we seem to be in number 8. Okay, and for diagnostic purposes, that's a good thing, because now we can concentrate on that one cylinder. We can see that it constantly goes up. There it goes. I feel it. See, every time you detect a misfire, you see it here. You see how this number right here starts to go up. Okay, so it's definitely, the issue is definitely in the number 8 cylinder. Okay, now we can kind of narrow down from there. It could be a spark plug, it could be a coil, it could be an injector. I'm kind of ruling out the injector for right now because it's so intermittent. that I'm kind of ruling out an injector right off the bat. But I'm really strongly leaning towards either a spark plug or an ignition coil. So now that we have our suspected cylinder, okay, now we need to determine, well, what is it, a spark plug or an ignition coil? And that's what we're going to find out. Okay, so I went ahead and shut off the vehicle. An easy way to do this, okay, the number 8 should be this one, 2468. This should be our guy right here. The easiest way to do this at this time would be to swap coils with a known good cylinder. So since the number 8 is our culprit, there we go. Since the number 8 is our culprit, I'm simply just gonna swap out with a random one. I want to get it as far away from. Ooh, it's kind of hot. Okay. So I'm gonna remove. See, luckily in this vehicle, it's not too difficult to get to. Sometimes these boogers are buried in the back somewhere. I like to kind of just inspect this. Sometimes they do start leaking electricity. So all I'm gonna do is just swap coils from one to another. If the misfire follows the coil, we're done. It's a coil. If it doesn't, well, we'll go after the spark plug next. The vehicle has 75,000 miles. The owner says he, as best as he can recall, he has not changed spark plugs. So regardless if we find out that regardless if it's a spark plug or not, we're probably just gonna go ahead and do spark plugs on it anyway. Okay, now I'm not gonna, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten it a little bit just to keep it from trying to work its way loose. Alright, now we're gonna reduplicate or try to duplicate the issue again. So we got our scan tool data here again. Now we're gonna reset graph. Okay, notice how it went here now. It was at number 8. I did put the bad coil on number 2, and it seems like the number 2 is now misfiring. So I think we found our culprit here. Give it a few more minutes to see. We're gonna go ahead and put it in drive just to give the engine a little bit more load. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, definitely the coil. No questions about it. The coil. The coil is our problem. Yep. I am satisfied with that. That is definitely a coil. I can now call the customer and tell him what's wrong with his vehicle. I am very satisfied with this diagnostic, and that's how you do it. Quick and easy way to determine if you have a spark plug or a coil issue. Sometimes, granted, depending on the design of the engine, it may be difficult to getting to certain coils and spark plugs. They may be buried behind near the firewall. It could easily become a labor-intensive job. So this vehicle was not that complicated. We were able to figure it out relatively easy. Now he does have a couple other complaints too that I'll be looking into, and we'll take it from there. Well guys, again, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do a separate video on changing spark plugs and coils, depending on where we go from there. If I do go that route, I'll be sure to post it as well. As always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you find this useful, and I'll see you next time.